which is 3 squares wide, 3 squares long, 3 squares high, ends up being 27 squares altogether, cubes altogether. Of course, you don't count the very center cube because that's the capstone, right? Which takes it down to 26. This whole system factors in every possible scenario that they have for string theory, which is fascinating. Do you want to know another really interesting element of string theory? They discovered this theory, fascinating. It's a big component of string theory that most people don't know about. I was blown away when I found that they thought of it. It's called brain theory. Brain. Definition of a brain is a flat two-dimensional surface that stores mathematical values with strings attached to. A flat two-dimensional surface that stores mathematical values that strings attached to. I was shocked. Hey, know about these two? Except that strings don't attach to them. Strings are created from them. It's the geometry, that law of physics that allows the energy exchange to take place. And it's built into the flat surface. Oh, I erased that one yet.
Was Brain the guy who came up with the theory?
No. His name is Joseph Polchinski, I believe.
Why do they call it Brain? That sounds like brain.
I thought it sounded perfect. Because
Yeah.
literally it is the brains of the operation. It's the one that's controlling and guiding everything. Now, it's like a little chip. It's one of the things that I've heard with programmers is this is a biological chip for the body. It gives it a new set of instructions for how to operate and function. The DNA, which is part of that same director system, and your brain, neurology, they're all the same systems as the brain part itself, the seed, the memory systems. Okay, you guys know that? How about this? Infinity. This one goes on forever, right? Figure 8. What is it really, though? It's a circle. Some people say this is an opposite, this is an opposite, this is a neutral point. How do you get out of that altogether so you get to the truth? This is one extreme, this is the other. In between is everything in between. How do you get out of that? How do you find the truth? There's the truth. Infinity symbol is really just a circle that's been twisted once. This creates the opposites, separation between physical and spiritual reality. This is basically heaven right there. That would be heaven, the ability to see into both places and to travel between both places. It opens up a whole new type of reality once you get to that point. Of course, with the infinity, we have the birth-death, always cycling back and forth forever. You'll never get out of that one until you find this one. That one, of course, being a whole different system altogether. Remember, that ties in with all the individual vibrations compared to the full spectrum vibration. Two completely different operating systems. The programmers aren't just energy, it's a chip, a biological chip for the body that reprograms it into this higher operating system. Of course, that's tied in with the Kabbalah, which unlocks. One unlocks DNA, two, it unlocks that whole energy system. It gets our dependence off of those top pyramid and bottom pyramid, so we can be independent on ourselves. I'm going to hear a cool one. This one's evolution. Now we know evolution is a horizontal development of the body learning how to rebuild itself more efficiently as time goes by. What about a vertical evolution? Which is nature itself going through an upgrade. It's almost like a dimensional upgrade. What if a lot of the extraterrestrial races are previous bodies? This is a generic race. It's information, basic, detail, complex, random. Information evolves this way. We know from computers that it takes higher levels of processing to be able to go deeper into this type of information. If we look at the development of video games, from Atari to Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, GameCube, you can see the graphics keep getting better and better. The sounds keep getting better and better. The detail on a character, better and better. If you really look into the crowd though, in the old games there really just was no crowd. Eventually the crowd was just different colored circles. And then the crowd was, there's maybe 4 or 5 different people in the crowd, but they were all repeated all over the place. And then they figured out how to build faster engines, to add randomization systems into facial features. They could build in a whole bunch of different options in the computer to go in and randomize the looks of the crowd. So it almost starts to look real, like all these different people in the crowd. But really it's just a more advanced programming system. Program all the different options and the combinations, then later randomize it. Well, you know the gray aliens? They're generic. They all look the same. They don't have the level of detail. Their body can't produce the level of detail that it takes to create bodies that look differently. When you go into the light after you die, and you're immersed in it, it's euphoric because you start becoming everything and you remember who you are. And you feel so powerful and immense, massive, immaculate. You feel forever. And it's the greatest feeling you ever feel. And most people come out of it, that part, or they blank out. But if you can stay conscious long enough and aware long enough in that place, you'll start feeling around and you realize there's just you. And if you stay there longer, you start to get bored. And being the only one